Um, okay, so at one point there was like a bunch of kids who were like, it was almost as if I was going by like a high school or elementary school or something like that. That's not exactly what the experience was, but it was kind of as if that was going on. I don't know what the background was, of course, if there was any background. I don't know. But there are these kids like running at me, and they're like putting their face like oh like at me, like they're like what is this? You know? Um, they're like kids, as if it was like a high school or middle school or something like that. Um, the weird thing about them though is they didn't seem like, again, like just like last video I made, where I was talking about this, where I was seeing these creatures kind of like, you know, going around, and I could kind of like see them from. It was almost like it was showing me like that these creatures exist, and like it was like 3-dimensional, like turning them around. But this time it was like as if they're actually there, and I was like, oh crap! They're like saying hi, and they're like, um, and I, maybe more interested in me than I was in them. I don't know, maybe not. That's an exaggeration. But they're like literally like running at me, like like staring at me. Again, these people didn't quite seem human, even though they did at first appearance. But there's something just, and it's really hard to describe. It's almost like, okay, they're like girls, but like, it was almost like I couldn't tell what sex they were, even though they looked like definitely female, but there's like this weird kind of like normally what you would kind of give it away. They didn't really have like quite those same features. I don't know how to describe it. They looked, they definitely looked human, but they didn't quite look human completely. And it's funny because as I'm saying it, I'm like literally forgetting what it was. But there was, okay, so there was definitely 3 at least, if not more. Or started with just, okay, no, there was like more like 5. Sorry. So there was like first just one that like kind of like ran up to me, and I was like, oh. And then there was like another, and it was like a school bus that was unloading, and they're like running up to me, and I was like, oh my god. There's more that I wanted to say here. That's all I can remember at the moment from the experience itself. There's something else that I wanted to say, but I can't remember now, of course. Even though I like stood up and like basically in the middle. I mean, that wasn't the middle of it, but like for some people, what may be an intense experience, I literally just. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So one thing that I've noticed is that on some level, if I open my eyes, and this isn't like in the peak of it, this is like after the peak and after it's kind of fading away. Because when during the peak, like the idea of opening my eyes, it's like, wait, what? I have eyes? I can open them? Like, what? Like, yeah. But, towards the end of it, once things start kind of going away and you become more aware and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sitting on the couch or whatever. For me, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, okay, I'm gonna open my eyes, just like kind of like look around, what's going on here. But one thing that I've noticed is when I close my eyes again, it's almost like whatever was kind of there, it's like kind of it's not there, and it like kind of takes a while for it to like kind of like sink back and like come back to show itself again. And keep in mind, this is like after it's really definitely faded away. So like the full peak experience, that would definitely not be the case. Oh yeah, I just remembered. And this is the thing I've wanted to say for like the past like 3 videos, but I never remember as soon as the experience ends or even halfway through it. I don't remember this part. But when it's coming on, there's this distinct feeling that there's something else, like a being or entity that's like coming down, and it's like, and I definitely get like a extraterrestrial type of vibe from it, if that means anything to anyone at all. That's definitely the vibe that I get though. And I feel like there's not just one of them, but there's like, I don't know, this time it felt like there's 3 of them. I don't know why I felt that way, I just did. And it was like, and then you just start seeing things, and you or like weird, like usually just like dots of like, or like for me, what I'm remembering now was that it was like like shapes like, or I don't know, it's like something like just like links like that, and they connect up and they like make something, but specifically they're made out of usually, and for the, I don't remember exactly, but they're made out of really bright colors, and for me the last one that I saw was red and green for sure, and I think there were other colors in there, but I don't want to guess. I'm gonna guess maybe yellow, but I don't really remember specifically. It's like it all happened so fast, it's hard to remember. But, and it's like I still can't describe it, but there's just like this thing that happens at the very beginning, and it's like every time it happens, you're like, oh shit, here, this part. But then afterwards, you never remember it, and it's like I can't even describe it. So it's like, no wonder nobody. No wonder I can't ever. No wonder every time that it happens, I'm like, oh, this again. I forgot about this. Like every time. And so that's as far as I can go into that, like, oh, this again, experience. I will say, last video I did say how the like intense body experience wasn't really there. It is still there. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely still there. I wasn't coughing on accident. I was literally coughing because of the smoke. Like, oh, DMT smoke is a little harsh. But yeah, definitely at the very beginning, when that whatever that is that's like comes down and it was like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's an energy more than like something that you necessarily see. For me, it's just like a frequency. It's just like I don't know how to describe it. It's just really like, and it's like kind of intense. But the rest of the trip was not intense at all. In fact, I was just really enjoying it, to be honest. When those like girls were coming up and were like, "Oh," I was like, I was like it's kind of intense, but it's really just more like fun. Like you're in like a foreign country or something, or a different planet, more like. But yeah, actually, halfway through it, I started laughing because I was like, "This is hilarious." After they're like running up and like looking at me, like after that kind of faded away, I just started laughing because it was funny because that's how comfortable I'm starting to feel because I've been doing it every single day, and like my body just gets used to it, and like even though it's a very very high vibration frequency, and my body's like. It's still like on some level I can still be comfortable within it, and that's been my goal this whole time, and it's really actually working. And so I'm going to keep going with this and push myself to just feel comfortable at this level, push myself a little further to feel comfortable at the next level, push myself a little further to feel comfortable at the next level. And to say at the beginning of this, it had been like months and months, months and months or so, a couple months, I don't know, 3 maybe, I don't know, since I don't know, maybe 6 at the most, probably less than that, since I smoked DMT last. And I have to say, the progression has become more and more like now when I smoke DMT, I just kind of like go, I don't feel like I need as much. And I just go straight to like, not like the things that are made out of patterns, like the cubes, like I'm in a cube and like it's made out of patterns, and then there's like a being that's like made out of patterns, that the same cube is made out of the same patterns as the being, and everything that I see is made out of this pattern. I no longer see that anymore, for the most part. And now it's like I just kind of jump to the like full on, like everything's like fully 3-dimensionally there, as if I was in a foreign country looking at people and they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, oh. So, but I still get the sense that I'm not fully there, even though I'm like interacting on some level, or they're interacting with me at least. It's not so much that I'm interacting with them as much as they're interacting with me. But it still doesn't, like I still don't get the sense like I could like reach out my hand and like touch them necessarily. I mean, when it's happening, it's like the idea that I have a hand. I don't even know. Maybe I do in the experience. Maybe I don't in the experience. I just don't know. But it's still kind of as if I'm like looking through a screen at it. But at the very same time, it's not. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's just where I'm at right now. So maybe it will change in the future. I'm just documenting the changes that I've experienced so far within my daily use. So thanks for watching.